I can't see it. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Kinsmen Twin Arenas. We are back on Rink B for this semifinal matchup between the Canada Crushers and the Grande Prairie Storm. Grande Prairie won out their pool. They sit in first and will be the home team tonight. Crushers were in the lights for their visitor. They came out second due to a goal differential, but finished with the same amount of points as number one in the pool, the Knights from this morning. Puck comes out to center, set to the far side. Number 5, Brown is going to bring that in the left side, trying to dig it down. Goes into the corner, thrown on net, steered aside by Thiel. Brown with it again. Net may have come off here. The moorings, are the moorings still sitting on top of the net? Because they might be. No, there's just a couple of water bottles on top. Ref's ready to go now. 14:38 to go in the first period. Draw one by the Crushers. Lidovchenko over to Stoika. Stoika caught in the corner. It's going to come up the point to Broad. Broad walks to the left side. There's a one-timer. Thiel got a piece of that. Steered to the far side. That shot coming on the far side by Scott. Quinn Scott moves it off the boards. Sent back there by the Crushers. Scott gets it back. Scott, wide side to Braun. Braun has it chip off his stick and into the neutral zone. Braun goes back to reset in his own zone. That's cut off at center. Coming up the left side is Lidovchenko. Who's going to dump that and go for a change. Scott picks that back up for the Storm. Comes over the near side. Braun comes in. Over to the right side. Takes that down low. Carries it behind the net, throws that in front, that goes through the slot, put up the near side. Morale, centering pass looking for Tureen, that's chipped into the Storm zone. Storm, flip that over the near side. McDonald skating back for it, Morale for the Crushers, beats them there. Ripped around the boards to the far side, picked up by Harris. Harris flips that back looking for Scott, that's going to be cut off by Reinhardt. Comes back to the point, Taylor with it. Move that over, looking for Tureen, who is rushing towards the slot. Morale keeps that alive for the Crushers. Reinhardt throws that inside, goes through the crease, put back to the point to Gray. Gray throws that into the slot and bounces over to the far side. Reinhardt picks it up, shakes off a check. We'll head back for it. Coming up the far side, the Storm get out of their own zone. Last possession in the Crushers side. Taylor with it, takes a hit, puck moves up the ice. McDonald turns around and dumps that into the Crushers zone. Stopped behind the net by Thiel. Going to the far side. Here's Gray. He's going to rush it out. Runs into his own man, Peterson Shaw. Storm Carruthers gets it into the Crushers zone. Taylor removes it and sends it gently into the Storm side. Crushers, first one's there. There's Reimet trying to move it off the boards. Kept in the near side by Peterson Shaw. Cox behind the net, trying to drag it away from the Storm player. Goes to the far side. Utley activates from the point. It's on the far side. Storm get it up to neutral zone. Heron puts the bump on Utley, but not before he gets it into the Storm zone. Storm come up the near side. They're going to dump that back into the Crushers zone. No ice scene indicated here. Jolicoeur Gagnon picks it up for the Crushers. Stops behind the net, moves it to the near side for Cox. Cox coming away with it. Lead pass for Reimer. Reimer gets around the defender, number 4, Condi, but on the puck comes out to the slot. Jolicoeur Gagnon on the Storm goaltender, kicked out to Taylor. Taylor can't get it out of the zone. Crushers keep it in. Peterson, Shaw trying to chase it up. First one there was Pike. Puck ripped down the ice. Icing called here, and we got to stop and play with 11:34 to go in the first period. Face-off will be on the near side in the Storm zone. Helgeson taking the draw against James. Puck pushed over to the near corner. Crushers coming away with it. Put down low. Bounces off the backside of the net. Pike there to try and move it. Getting some help from Grande. Comes into the slot. There's a shot by Seaman. James follows it up, and James is going to put it into the back of the net. Landon James opens up the scoring for the Crushers with 11:20 left in the first period. Crushers 1, Grand Prairie Storm 0. Crushers able to keep it in the zone, get it into the slot, and they're rewarded with a goal about 4 minutes into the game. 3:45, roughly. Storm with it, start behind their own net. Tried the lead pass to Scott. It's going to get past him. Wilton back, ready to play it. He wheels behind the net, gets it up to James. James lost the handle, picked up by Braun, and sent to the far side. Puck ends up in the Crusher zone, picked up in the far corner. Battle for it, it comes loose. Wheeled around to the near side. Campbell takes the shot, that's knocked down in front of the net. Wilton peels it around the boards, held in by Braun. Put against the boards again. James takes a heavy hit from Braun. Battle for it still in the Crusher zone. Black throws that off the boards. Comes up to Seaman. Drop that back for Black. Black coming through. Comes over to the left side. Evades the chick. Oh. This is gonna be a different game, folks, than we saw this morning. Refs intent on letting the boys play some physical hockey. Seeing the bodies fly so far in the Grand Prairie zone. Walking it out. Wing Scott carrying. Comes into the right side of the Crusher's zone. Wilton puts him to the outside. A shot goes through the slot over the far side. Lehman with it. Lehman puts it out to center. That's cut off by number 55, Heron, who takes that into the Crusher zone. He got halfway to the dots, and then the puck's put outside. McDonald dumps it back in. Taylor for the Crushers. Picks it up. Goes to the far side. Reverses. Comes over to the near side. Giving up to McDonald. McDonald shot blocked in front by Taylor. Touch pass from Lehman over to Reinhardt. Reinhardt just puts that above the goaltender and wide. Grand Prairie in transition moves it up. Harris on the far side. He's put against the boards. Stoika moves that up to Lehman. Moves that back to Gray, who's going to put that out to center. Picked up by Pike. Pike fires that back into the Crusher zone. Harris picks it up for the Storm on the far side. Moves it over to Heron. Heron lost that in the feet. Taylor puts it against the boards. And it comes over to Lehman. Can't get it out. Held in at the line by Campbell. Gray's battling for it for the Crushers in the near corner. Stoika chips it down low. Gets it over to Taylor. Taylor harder on the boards to Lehman. Lehman tries to chip that up. Campbell keeps it in once again. Rolled up the boards. Helgeson. Stoika chips that up, but not out. Campbell again keeps it in, but Lehman able to get it out. Goes the wide side to Reinhardt. Reinhardt walking into the Storm zone. Takes a high hit from Campbell. Puck's deep for Tureen. Comes over to Morale. Back to the point. Walking in is Utley. There's the shot wide. Picked up on the near side by Jolicoeur Gagnon. Moves that over to Peterson Shaw. Peterson Shaw rolls around, sends it to the right side to Utley. Utley walks it in, high shot, right onto the Storm goaltender. He's gonna hang on. Making the save is freezing. And we gotta stop here with 7:54 left in the first period. Crushers hanging on, they're up 1-0. And we'll have a draw on the far side in the Storm zone. Crushers win that draw. Morale back to the point to Utley. Utley put that right on, and Friesen steers that aside. Morale tries to move that back to the point, but that's cut off by number 24, Taylor. Taylor, far side, Dillabal, pardon me. Crushers getting it back behind their net. Jolicoeur Gagnon throws that up to Morale. Morale's going to dump that down the ice. Picked up on the far side. Tureen battling it against the Grande Prairie defender, Zavisha. Crushers get it back. Here's Peterson Shaw walking in the slot. Right to the right side. Friesen with the save. Comes out in the slot again. Slap shot by Tureen, and it's pumped over to the next near corner. Held in at the line by Jolicoeur Gagnon. Tureen keeps possession of the puck. Back to the point. Jolicoeur Gagnon fired through traffic. Put that nice and low. Kicked away by Friesen. Parker, Peterson Shaw puts it down low. Morale with it. Up the near side. Now he spins around. Puts it low for Tureen. Storm, move it back to the point. Utley holds his ground there. Fired. Tureen's going to go into the corner, try and dig it out. Gets it over to Peterson Shaw. Storm, move it back out. Now gently put it off the boards and out to the neutral zone. Storm's going to get a change. Jolicoeur Gagnon picks up the puck, moves it down to Cox. Cox tried to move that back to Rima, just in front of him. And Scott for the Storm, move that back to the blue line, not out. Hustling in was Wilton. Going towards the net, James. James is knocked down. There'll be a tripping call here against the Storm. Scott called with 6:14 left in the first period. 2 minutes tripping to Grande Prairie. Scott called with 6:14 left in the first. Face-off will be on the far side in the Storm zone. Crushers currently up 1-0. Storm coming with the puck. Campbell fires that down the ice, clear in the zone. Thiel leaves that for Taylor. Taylor starts behind his own net. Gets that up the ice, and it's chipped down into the Storm zone. We're going to call icing on that. And the face-off will be back in the Crusher side. 5:57 left in the first period. 1:43 left in the Crusher power play. They'll take the face-off in their own zone. Drop down. James wins it for the Crushers. Gets it over to Wilton. Wilton moves that Scott. Hauls it up the ice. Chipped in by Rima. Pike gets it in the far corner for the Storm. Rima takes him into the boards. It's going to come loose for James on the far side. Take that back. Pike beats him to the puck and puts it down the ice. Thiel with it. Over to Taylor. 1:15 left in the Crusher power play as Wilton receives the pass, moves up the far side. Wants to move it over to Seaman. Pulls it off the board. Seaman hard and into the zone. Campbell gets there, moves it around to the far side. Picked up by Gray. Gray with it. Sets up the power play. Down low for Reinhardt. Reinhardt. Block comes in. Black shot. Blocked. Campbell hard around the boards again. Kept in by Gray. Gray hangs onto it. Now moves it to Reinhardt. Back door for Black. Black puts it to the point to Seaman. Seaman to Gray. Gray with it. Down to Reinhardt. Reinhardt, high shot. That is going to come off the glass. Kept in on the near side by Seaman. Seaman moves that down low to Reinhardt. Reinhardt in front. There's a shot with the Wilton coming in the left side. Trying to jam that in. Black on the far side. Backhand shot. Stays out and Friesen is eventually going to cover it up. Puck may have still been loose, but the ref blows it down, losing track of it. Pardon me, folks. Ref blew it down because the net had come off. And we'll have a face-off far side in the Storm zone. There's 4:37 left in the first period. 23 seconds left in the Crusher power play. Storm win the draw. They slap the puck down the ice. Gray back to play it. Shadowed by Hillebach. Gray versus to the far side. Gets it to Utley. Utley looking for Seaman. Seaman gets that into the zone and then pounded against the boards. Puck left back for the Storm. Coming out Gray picks up the puck, quickly shadowed by Scott, fresh out of the box. 4 minutes to go in your first period. Black with the puck, left side to Seaman. Seaman coming into the zone, followed up by Black. Black chops that around the boards. Grande Prairie gets it back. Leading the charge, number 6, Helgeson. Chopped out in front. Thiel makes the save. Now it goes to the far side. Broken up by Black. Right side to Stoika. Stoika for Black. Black low, and Friesen makes the save. Storm picks that back up. Chipped out to the neutral zone, knocked down by Taylor. Black picks it up again. Turns around, fires that high, off the blocker and out of play. And we'll get a stop here with 3:21 left in the first period. Storm bringing the action back as soon as they get their man out of the box. Crushers rushing it up the ice, running some run and gun. Face off near side in the Storm zone. Storm Crushers steal it back off the backside. Peterson Shaw trying to battle it off the boards. Gets it to Stoika. Stoika back to the point to Taylor. Taylor fires that. Campbell got a stick on that. It's knocked down. Far side. Peterson Shaw moves that down low for Lehman. Lehman, hard shot. Friesen with the save. Comes loose. Stoika with it. Backhand shot. That's knocked down in front. Comes over to the near side. Storms. Number 12 is going to pick that up. Pike heading down the ice with it. Turns. Hangs on. Back to the point to Mounsey. Mounsey, low shot. Thiel finds that at the last second with traffic in front of him. Covers it up with 2:42 left in the first period. Pike able to move it down the ice quickly. Drops it back to Rousey. Fired on, but Thiel able to make that save for the Crushers. Now we'll get a puck drop on the near side and the Crushers down. James wins it for the Canada Crushers. Gets it over to Lidko, who moves it over to Wilton. Wilton, far side for Treen, who just chops it into the neutral zone, and it's picked up on the far side by Scott. Here comes Grande Prairie into the Storm, turned over. Treen moves that up the ice. That's cut off by Braun. Braun skates behind his own net, resetting the play. Going to the far side now. Drawing the Crusher defenders down. It's turned over in the zone. Trying to rush it in was James looking for the slot. That's held in by Torino on the near side. Now it comes into the neutral zone. Lidovchenko knocks it down. Far side from Morale. Morale flips that into the Storm zone. Braun moves that across the ice. That's caught by James. James goes up the left side. Caught behind the net by the Storm's, I'm going to say Braun. And he tried to exit the zone or send it down the ice. Ends up going a little far, and an icing call made with 1:48 left in the first period. Crushers got one with about 3:45 into the period, but it's been a goalie show since. It's good action here at Kinsmen in this semifinal game of Crusher Cup 2026. Crushers keep that in the zone. Now the Storm follow it up. Coming up the right side, Pike. Pike trying to get around Utley. Utley directs him below the goal line. Tried to feed that in front was the right winger, number 71, Carruthers. And the puck comes back into the Storm zone. Gray with it at center. Dumps that down the ice. Pike picks it up. Pike slips, but he makes the pass over to the near side. Rymut knocks it down for the Crushers. Rymut trying to battle it in that near corner. Now comes up high for Utley. Utley fires that. Friesen got the glove on that. Goes to the right side to Gray. Gray seals it against the boards. Keeps fighting for it. He's knocked down. Coming away is Grande Prairie's number 6, Helgeson. Helgeson over to Boyd. Boyd checked at the blue line of the Crushers. Rymut centering pass, picked off by Hillbach. Hillbach comes in, low shot, Thiel with the save. Cleared to the far boards by Utley. Hillbach picks up the puck again. Cox puts that on the outside, knocked down by Campbell at the line. Gray finds that in the slot and will move it around in his own zone. Finds some space, looking for Rymut. Pass just out of his reach. Near side. Grande with it. Grande moves it up to Dunnigan. Dunnigan gets into the Crusher zone. Utley takes the puck away from him. Gray has that, and he's going to wheel it out. Devin Gray going up the right side. Fires that around the boards. Picked up at the left side by Seaman. Seaman with it. Looking for Peterson's shot. Pass just behind us. And the buzzer will go on the first period. Don't go far, folks. We have a short intermission here. It's only going to be about a minute long. And then we'll be ready for second period action. Good evening, folks. Welcome back to the second period about to start here at Kinsmen Twin Arenas. We're on Rink B. We're the semifinal in the Crusher Cup 2026. Canada Crushers, wearing the light jerseys, are up 1-0 on the Grand Prairie Storm. 20 minutes on the clock. We're ready to go. Helbson comes away for Grand Prairie, comes in, left side, Campbell, low shot, Thiel with the save, and he's going to hang on there with 19:50 to go in the second. Just 10 seconds elapsed. After that first whistle, we'll have a face-off near side in the Crusher zone. Crushers win that draw. Parker Peterson shot gets that over to Taylor. Taylor tried to wheel in the far side. He's cut off. Pass fed through the slot. Campbell keeps that in on the near side. Cleared up the far boards. Pike keeps that in for Storm. Storm can't keep it in. Here's Black up the boards. Coming up the left side. There's a shot. Oh, it's off the glove of Friesen. He makes a great save there. Crushers pick it in the right side. Thrown out in front. Comes over. Another chance for Seaman. Thrown in by Black, and the whistle's going to go. Friesen able to hang on to that puck. Covers it up with the Crushers on the doorstep. Great stop by the Storm goaltender here with 19:11 left in the second period. Face-off will be on the far side in the Storm zone. Each team throwing haymakers here. This is great action, worthy of a semifinal game. Lidovchenko puts that around the boards, down low for Lehman. Lehman had his stick checked. Storm gets that out to center. That's cut off by Wilton. Wilton over to Stoika. Stoika looking for Lehman. It just comes behind him. And the Storm's Harris tries to drive inside of Lidovchenko. That was stopped. Quick shot, though, through traffic. Thiel with the save. Storm pick it back up. Fed out to the point. Lazevic keeps that in for the Storm. Fed out in front by number 21, Harris, but that skips through the slot. Picked up on the near side by the Crushers Lehman. He gets that up to Stoika. Stoika dumps that in the far side. Will go for a change. Lehman comes up the near side. Storms Condi trying to move in the far side. Morrell knocks that down in the offensive zone. Storm coming over to the near side now. Condi with it again. Looking for Harris. That comes up high on him. We're going to decide that that was contacted by a high stick and blow the whistle here with 18:12 left in the second period. The draw will be just in front of the Crushers penalty box. And Reinhardt wins it for the Crushers. Utley, far side for Jolicoeur Gagnon. Fired towards the net, but that's kicked away by Scott. Scott picks it up, wheels behind his own net, comes up the near side, move that up to Carruthers. Carruthers centering pass, broken up by Utley. Utley goes up the left side, tried to move that back into the slot. That's broken up by the Storm. On the swing down the ice is Boyd, lost the handle, comes over the near side. Dunnigan tries to keep it in, back to the point. Tureen moves that around Braun. Scott comes back for the Storm, skates in his own zone. Scott on the far side, move that up to Dunnigan. Touch pass to Carruthers. Carruthers coming on the right side. There's a shot high, and Thiel will take that in the glove, hanging on with 17:29 left in your second period. Good transition play by the Storm to come in the Crushers zone. Crushers, though, keeping them to the outside, helping out their goaltender. Face off. Near on the far side, there's a quick shot, and that's it. Storm answer here early in the second period. Shot right from the draw, and Finn Taylor evens up the score for the Storm. Just off the draw, gets past the Crushers goaltender, and we're tied at 1. Taylor with the puck for the Crushers, throws that on the outside. Back to play was Higgelson, sends that up the middle. Gray, Higgelson comes in, there's a shot off the iron, that stays out, goes to the far boards. Crushers pick it up on the near side. Arm of the official is up. And coming into the box will be nope. It will be Parker Peterson Shaw receiving a charging infraction. He'll be here for 2 minutes. Called with 16:59 left in the second period. I'm good. Face off, won by the Storm. Thrown out in front, Dunnigan puts that shot off. That's blocked by the Crushers. Far side, Dunnigan. Over in the near side, Black tried to chop that out. That's kept in. Put over in the on the far side by Wilton. Put down low. Thrown out in front, Thiel with the save. Another one. That's put wide by the Storm. Condi has that on the near side. Condi goes to the right side. Over to number 6, Helgson, pardon me. And the puck bounced out to the neutral zone, picked up by Condi. Pressured by Sieben. Condi up to Heron. Heron coming up the left side, shadowed by Lidovchenko. Heron's going to wheel around. Condi. No, that's Heron. Pine with it. Comes up the near side. Black gets that back to the point, but not out. Pike with it. Pike walking it down low. Shot. Thiel with the save, and we get the stop here with 15:43 left in the second period. .45 seconds left in the penalty to Peterson Shaw. We'll have a face-off on the near side in the Crusher zone. Crushers win that draw. They're going to clear the puck down the ice. Friesen sets that up for Braun. Stoika gets by him. Comes to the near side. Stoika moves that back to the point. Peterson Shaw, fresh out of the box, takes a shot, but that's blocked. Puck put to the far side. Scott picks it up. I take that back. Jolly Couganiel that was keeping that on the far side. Peterson Shaw still has about 10 more seconds left in this penalty. Storm coming out here now. Heron with it, coming up the left side. Wheels behind the net. Comes out the far side. Thrown up. Stoika's going to get it. Up to James. James. Peterson Shaw all alone. Comes out and we'll put it back at it in. Right from the box. The Crushers answer after killing off the penalty, and will go up 2-1 with 14:51 left in the second period. Stoika able to get that off the boards. James sees Peterson Shaw rushing out of the box, picked up just outside the blue line. He takes it in and moves to his left side backhand, and the rest ends in celebration. Goal comes with 14:51 left in the second period. It's 2-1 for the Crushers. Storm's Boyd moves that around the far side. Passed up to Dunnigan. He couldn't get inside the Crushers defense. Dunnigan has that in the far corner. Dunnigan slides that down low. Taylor for the Crushers. Moves that around the boards to Lehman. Lehman looking for Reinhardt, who's heading down the ice. That is chipped away, but Morale follows that up. Morale takes that down low. Wheels it to the near side. Back to the point to Taylor. Taylor with it. Fired into traffic in front. Lehman couldn't get the stick on it. Campbell pick it up on the far side with speed. Here comes Campbell. Rushing around the far side. Straight to the net. Low shot. And that is an answer by the Storm's Campbell. Trenton Campbell puts the team on his back and rushes down the ice. And we are tied up at 2. Campbell's goal comes with 14:09 left in the second period. And the slugfest continues. Campbell with blinding speed, able to put that goal in for the Crushers. For the Storm. Crushers win the draw though, bring that puck into the Storm zone. Storm though, coming up the ice with it. McDonald on the left side. There's a low shot. Off the stick of Lidovchenko, goes to the far corner. Moving it down low. Number 21, Harris with it. Throws that in front. Thiel makes the save. Puck still available. Storm trying to move that out in front for the slot. Put back to the point. It's going to get between the 2D. Hustling back for it is Zavisha. Harris on the far side. Comes in the right side, stops in front of the slot, and that is blocked. James takes that away. James up to Treen. Treen with it. Goes to the left side in front. There's a shot! And right away, Xavier Treen will answer for the Crushers. Pow, pow, pow. Treen able to get around the D. Comes in the far side, swings back to the right, and it's a snipe to the back of the net. Goal comes with 13:15 left in the second period. Puts the Crushers back on top, 3-2. Ready to go at center again. Utley throws that up the near boards, goes into the Storm zone. Storm move that back out to center, coming up the left side. Vilba tried to center that. Utley knocks that down, takes it up the boards, gets it over to Seaman. Seaman hands that off to James. James left side for Reimuth. Reimuth checks getting into the Storm zone. Puck's picked up by Braun. Braun flips that into the corner. Crushers pinch, keep that in. Utley sends that down low. Reimuth in front, cleared away by Scott. Scott takes that to the outside, makes the pass up to Taylor. Taylor back up to Scott. Scott takes that into the Crusher zone. Utley finds loose puck behind the Crusher net. Left side to Seaman. Centering pass, looking for James. Scott intercepts that for the Storm. And we'll dump that back in the Crusher zone. Utley with it. Outside for Seaman. Seaman off the boards. Centering pass. That's caught by Taylor. Dunnigan coming towards the net. Hands that off to Dillabaugh. And Dillabaugh knocked off the puck by James. Utley with it. He's going to rush that to the wide side. Coming over in front, and that is just past Seaman. Stoika. Reinhardt keeps it in the zone. Comes up the right side. That's down the boards. Chipped into the Crusher zone. And Thiel with it. Thiel leaves that for Utley and moved up to Gray. Stoika back to Utley. Over to Stoika on the far side. Up to Reinhardt. Reinhardt with it. Over to Black. Black lost control of it. Storm moving it back the other way. Here comes Campbell with that speed again. Gray cuts inside him. Campbell passes it off. Turned around is Campbell. Xavier, and then number 13, 14. Gunnigan's 14. Puck jumped back into the Storm zone. Xavier Campbell with the puck. Moves it to the far side. Storm moving that up. Carruthers lost in his skates. Gray takes it back for the Crushers. Gray coming up the near side. Campbell cuts that off at center. Moved back out by Taylor. Near side for Morrell. Morrell will dump that in. Boyd back to play it for Storm. Puts it behind the net for Pike. Pike up to Carruthers. Carruthers caught by Lehman. And Morrell will put that back into the Storm zone. Battle for it on the near side. Over to Lehman. Lehman with it. His low shot blocked. Gets the second attempt in front. Another one. Parker Peterson Shaw sitting on the far side. Picks up the rebound. And he's scored another one for the Canada Crushers. Lehman able to fire that in the zone. The rebound comes right off the pads of the Storm goaltender. Sitting on the far spot was Parker Peterson Shaw. He adds to the Crushers' tally. It's 4-2. Goal coming with 10:28 left in the second period. Storm win the draw. McDonald moves it back to Zavisha over to Condi. Condi coming up the left side into the Crusher zone. Trying to drive it towards the net. That's knocked down, sent to the far side. Morrell has the puck for the Crushers. Comes across center, dumps, and goes to chase. Morrell gets it back, spins to the far side. Crushers D, we're changing, so he didn't move it back to the point. Lehman comes in to help out, puts it against the boards. Storm are gonna slide that down the ice. Thiel out to play it. Sets that up for Peterson Shaw, who's gonna wheel behind the net and get some speed coming up the near side. Stepping in, he's knocked down on the play. Puck goes to the far side, picked up by Cox. Cox throws that in front looking for Tureen. That's blocked by the Storm. Comes into the high slot, and the Storm now are gonna move that down the ice once again. This time it'll end up being an icing call, and we got to stop in play with 9:32 left in the second period. This will bring the draw back into the Storm zone. Puck's dropped. Crushers win it. Utley at the point. There's a shot that is fired wide up the far boards. It'll go. Jolicoeur Gagnon pitches in. Cox trying to get it back. Storm coming over. Caught at center. Followed up, though, by Dunnigan. And as the Storm cross into the Crusher zone, offside is called. Draw will be just on the near side, then outside the Crusher zone. Storm win it and they dump it in the Crusher zone. Here comes the Storm, stepping in the slot with Scott, backhand shot just wide, just far side, followed up again, and that is also Scott can keep it in at the line, come at the right side, back waiting for it is Braun. Braun over to Scott. Scott wheels in front of his own net, moves up the near side. Utley chops that down the line, but it does pop out. Dillabaugh with it, walking it up. Now the pass up to Mounsey. Mounsey flips that to the far side, looking for Scott. That comes off the side of the net and stays out. The ref right on top of it says no goal. The whistle here goes with 8:27 left in the second period. Taking a look at the post there. And we'll reset on the far side in the Crusher zone. Crushers win it. Put up in the near side. Held in by Helgeson. Campbell trying to follow it up. Seaman comes with the puck for the Crushers and lost the inside the Storm zone. Campbell moves it quite nicely up to Mounsey, coming up the near side. Gray shadowing him. Mounsey is going to go to the far side. Flip that back to the point. There's a shot by Pike that is just wide. Chipped off the mark just in front of the net. Whistle goes here because the net came off a little bit. We'll reset inside the Crusher zone with 7:53 to go in the second period. Puck's dropped. Storm have it on the far side. Comes in the slot. There's a quick shot or a save by Thiel. Battleford on the near boards. Comes back to Campbell. Xavier Campbell at the point. Peterson pressures him, and the puck comes out to center. Pike throws that around the far side. It's put into the Crusher zone. Peterson Shaw puts it behind the net to roll up the near side. Comes loose for Black. Black, stretch pass looking for Stoika. It's chipped into the offensive zone. Stoika goes into that far corner. Black tries to set up in front of the net. Puck's picked up by Storm's Helgeson. Handed off to Campbell. Campbell, far side for Mounsey. Mounsey puts that out to center, knocked down by Jolicoeur Gagnon. Stoika with it, dumped back into the Storm zone. Pike has a chance to move it out. He's going to move that all the way down the ice. And icing called here with 6:45 left in the second period. Face-off will be on the near side in the Crusher zone. Pardon me, the Storm zone. Storm have that on the far side. Zavisha tried to move that out. That's knocked down by the Crushers. Puck comes out to center. Utley with it. Follows that up. Takes it away from Conde. Put out front now. Over to the near boards. James keeps it in his zone. Harder at the boards. Morale's going to pick that up on the far side. Pressured by Zavisha. Comes back to the point. Jolicoeur Gagnon fires that through traffic, and that is chipped just wide to the far corner. Morale picks it up. Over to Lehman. He's bumped off the puck by Conde. Comes out the near side. There's a collision just inside the blue line. Utley trying to look for it in his feet. Comes out to center. Morale finds it and is going to fire it to the far corner and go for a change. Conde for the Storm. Moves that to the far side. Picked up by Boyd. Boyd uses the boards to get it out to center. Followed up by the Storms. And the Crushers have that in their zone. Stretch pass up to Lehman. Lehman looking for James, heading towards that. He's caught just inside the Storm zone. Conde flips that to the far side. That's cut off by Cox, but it comes back to Pike. Pike moves that up the ice, and the Storm get that out to the neutral zone. Harris picks it back up. He's stolen away by Reinhardt. Harris gets it back over to Pike. Pike with it for the Storm. Gets it to Dunnigan. Dunnigan comes in the left side. Couldn't get it through Gray. Crushers put it on the outside boards. There's a slap shot. That hit a man in front. Dunnigan picks up the puck. Out high for Scott. Scott walks it in. There's a shot. Stick in the lane. That puck will end up out of play. .4:49 left in the second period, and the Crushers are up 4-2 on the Storm. Face-off will be on the near side in the Crushers zone. Taylor takes the draw for the Storm, and Helgeson puts that just wide, and it bounces up the boards, and the ref will end up in the pressure zone. Storm keep that in at the line. Braun with it, sends that down low for Taylor. Taylor trying to battle it in front. Body is knocked down. Storm have possession of the puck. Thrown into the slot. High slot that is. Helgeson couldn't keep it in. We got a little bit of action behind the play here. I think we're going to get one or two going to the box. Roughing, so it's just the Storm's Taylor issued a roughing call. Oh, I take that back. They're both called roughing. Yeah. Taylor for the Storm and Wilton for the Crushers in the box. 2 minutes roughing. Penalty comes, 4:24 left in the second period. Crushers win the draw in their own zone. Utley, far side for Peterson-Shaw. Up to Reimer. Off the skates of Seaman, handled by Peterson-Shaw. Peterson-Shaw comes up the right side. Ooh, look to put that in front, but that was blocked by Helgeson. Thrown out in the far side. Storm moving it up the ice. Brothers with it. Left side for Helgeson. Helgeson coming in the pressure zone. Moves that down low into the slot. Now that comes back to the point. There's a shot. And that is going to end up in front of the traffic, in front of the Crusher goaltender. And the Storm able to score late in the second period to bring this game within one. Sitting at the point, Maverick Campbell rips one through traffic just behind the Crusher goaltender. And it is now 4-3 for the Crushers. Ready to go at center. Harris jumps through the mess, picks up the puck for the Storm, comes in the near side of the Crusher zone. Centering pass, looking for McDonald. That's closed in on by the Crushers. Coming up the near side. Black gets that up the ice. And it dies before it can be called icing. Stoika goes in to follow. Black now bumps number 12 Pike off the puck. Storm move it to the near side, and wheeling it out is Harris. Centering pass for Dunnigan. He stops, looks for a trailer. There's Campbell. That's kicked away by Thiel. Followed up on the far side by Pike. Comes out in front, and they're going to call it a hand pass. Sitting in front was Dunnigan on his backhand, but all alone. And a hand pass call will bring the face-off out to the neutral zone. Whistle goes with 3:10 left in the second period. Face-off far side of the ice. Storm win it. Pike puts that over the near side for Helgren. Oh, there's a shot right onto Thiel, who comes up with the save. And we're going to stop with 3:01 to go in the second period. Face-off will be on the near side in the Crusher zone. Storm shoot that off the draw, quick shot after pulling the back, but Lehman was able to block that. Crushers pick it up on the near side. Reinhardt tried to center that. That's caught off by Mountie. And then Reinhardt goes back and picks up the puck again. Knocked down, trying to go at the far side. Here comes the Storm. Campbell. That's fired wide. Utley with it. That's flipped up high. It's going to land in the feet of Morale. Over to Reinhardt. Reinhardt going in. There's a high shot. Glove save, Friesen. Reinhardt had a good look at it, and he tried to put it just over the glove of the Storm goaltender. But Ari Friesen able to make the save here with 2:30 to go in the second period. Gets a tap from his defenseman Helgeson. Or his forward. No, that was Braun, pardon me. Giving him the tap. Good stop there by the Storm goaltender. Taylor with the shot. That hit a body, and that's going to end up going down. Oh, Angelique Gagnon able to out-muscle Boyd, or he was down the ice. Boyd, though, has a chance. Couldn't get over to Pike. Taylor up the far side for Morale. That's going to come out to the neutral zone and roll back to the Storm side. Braun with it. Braun. Oh, that's off the skate of Flayman and fired down to the far corner. Peterson shot. Flips that to the far side. Jean-Luc Gagnon looking back for Morale. That's cut off by number 55 on the far side, Heron. Puck comes in the neutral zone and then a roll back to the Storm side. And the whistle goes here. Play stops with 1:49 to go in the second period, and the face-off will be our side in the Storm zone. Crushers win the draw. It's fired towards the net, but kicked over to the near boards. Green with it. Fed to the far side. McDonald can't get it past Utley. Utley fires that down low. Cox into chase. Spinning around him is Braun. Braun shoots that to the far side. Puck comes out to the neutral zone. Dumped back in to the Storm side. Scott throws that up the near boards. Gray pinches in. Gets that down to James. James with it. James battling hard against the boards for it. Now Pearson Shaw gets that down, looking for Cox. Skips past him, and Dunnigan's picked that up for Storm. Chipped out to the neutral zone. Gray feeds that over to the near side. Picked up by Scott. Scott's going to come with speed, going to the far side. Little shot off the mark, comes out the near side. Gray with it. Up the boards. Treen coming out the right side, looking for Peterson Shaw, out of reach. On the back check, Condi moves that to the near side, and the clearing attempt will end up in the netting. And we get a stop here with the face-off coming into the Storm zone. 31 seconds to go in the second period. Crushers clinging on to a 4-3 lead right before our flood intermission. Wilton with it. There's a hard shot. Friesen able to see that, makes the stop. And we'll get another draw in the Storm zone. James taking the face-off against Campbell. Campbell wins it. Storm on the move up the ice. Hellgreen going to the right side. Low shot off the iron, that stays out. Hellgreen had the Crusher goaltender beat, but not the post. Crushers move that to the far side. Wilton with it. Carries it into the far corner. 5 seconds to go in the period. Put to the far side, Seaman tried to put that out in front. That's jammed back to the near corner. And the buzzer will go on the period. And in the semifinal game, the team will head into the dressing room for the flood, with it being a 1-goal difference. Crushers are up 4-3 as we take a break and let the Zamboni do its work. See you back here, folks, for an exciting third period. Whew, these headphones are gold. All right, folks, we are just getting ourselves organized. I don't see the refs. Oh, I do see the refs out again. Almost there. All right, folks, here we go. Third period action in this semifinal of the 2026 Crusher Cup. On the left in the darks, we got the Grand Prairie Storm. They're down 4-3 to the Canada Crushers, who are wearing the left on the far side for the Crushers. Gets the puck up to Utley. Utley gets across center and dumps that into the Storm zone. Friesen out to play it. Sent to the far side. Storms moving that up. Helgeson lost control of the puck. Jolicoeur Gagnon near side. Stoika up to James. James to Stoika. Coming up the right side comes Campbell. Campbell coming into the zone. Checked by Lehman on the back check. Loose puck to the far side. Utley with it. Sends it down low. It skips past Jolicoeur Gagnon. Picked up by Pike on the near side. Thrown out in front. That's jammed away. James puts it around the outside. Pike pulls it off the board. Starts walking towards the slot. That's chipped off his stick. Comes over to McDonald. Low shot. Thiel with the save. Followed up again. Popped up again. It's going to hop up in the air and into the back of the net. And the Storm have tied it up early in the third period. 50 seconds have elapsed into the period. And the Storm swarm the net to score. McDonald, Johnny on the spot, able to pop it past the Crusher goaltender. Here we go. At center. Puck's dropped. Crushers moving to the near side. Taylor gets it into the Storm zone. Storm's now moving around the far side. Coming back in. The puck's put into the Crusher zone. Throwing up the boards. Now pushed out by Peterson Shaw. Peterson Shaw taking the right side. Comes in. Has Dreen head towards the net. Dreen couldn't keep that on his stick. He takes that into the near corner. Storm, get it back. Passed up to number 21, Harris. Harris checked by Gray at center. Puck sent into the Crusher zone. Taylor with it. Taylor up the boards to Tureen. Back to Taylor. Comes back to the point. Walking the line is Braun. Fired down low. It's into the crease now. Fired just wide. Tureen with it. Going to hang on, try to wheel it up the near side. Couldn't get it past Braun, who returns it back low into the Crusher zone. Taylor sends that to the outside. Held in by Scott. Scott trying to walk it in. Now it flips it down low into the corner. Centering pass. That's chipped up, and it's going to roll back to the Storm zone. Scott back to play it for Grande Prairie. Throws it off the boards. That's turned over at center ice. Wilton. Far side, looking for Reimuth. It skips past him. Storms Taylor handles that on the right side. Comes in, high shot off the glass. Scott's going to pick that up on the far boards. Scott with it. Flips that down low for Hellberg. Coming in is Reimuth. Wilton fires that back in. Hellberg moving that around. First Helgeson. Helgeson moving that around. Behind the net, Helgeson picks it up, swept over to the near side for Morale of the Crushers. Morale couldn't get it out of the zone. Dillabaugh fires that back around the boards, picked up on the far side. Heron with it. He's put against the boards, now it comes back to the point. There's a shot. Oh, and it's tipped, and it goes in. Condi fires that, and sitting in the front was Storm's Helgeson, who chips that just above the Crusher goaltender. And the Storm take the lead for the first time in the game with 16:59 to go in the third period. Storm have it in their own zone. Put up the near side. Jean-Luc Gagnon keeps that in. Put to the near side by Seaman. Put around the boards. Picked up down low by Harris. On the far side, coughed up. Jean-Luc Gagnon flips that to the open corner. Put out in front. Oh, it falls off the stick of Black. Oh, he just misses the far post. James with it. Back to the point. Utley walking that in. Utley fires that into traffic. It's a breakaway the other way. Dunnigan hustling. Taken away by Jean-Luc Gagnon. Puck goes wide. Put up the ice for Seaman. Seaman with it. Coming to James. Over to Black. It's just behind. Put down low. Skips past Seaman. Picked up by Conde. Conde moves it up. That's turned over. Crushers coming into the slot was James. He's knocked off the puck. Black with it. Shovels that down low. It's going to come out the far side. And the Storm are going to put that down the ice and take an icing call here with 15:50 left in the third period. Storm scored last, but the Crushers are starting to buzz in the offensive zone. Storm calling down with an icing call and will take the face-off in their own zone. Peterson Shaw wins it for the Crushers. Back to the point, Gray with it. Fired through traffic, goes wide over to the near side. Picked up by the Storms. McDonald, he can't get it past Taylor. Going to the far side is Campbell. Moves the puck up to Harris. Stoika keeps that in the zone for a second. Campbell trying to come out to center with it. Spilled to the wide side. Near side, sorry. Campbell with it. Campbell centers that. That's knocked down. Stoika's going to pick that up for the Crushers. Stoika. Lead pass to Peterson. That's chipped in the Storm zone. Kept in. Pike puts it up the boards, up the near side, and Hearn couldn't keep it on a stick in the Crusher zone. It's in the feet of Cox. And it comes out. Braun with it. Goes to the wide side for number 88, Boyd. Boyd sends that over to Pike. Pike is going to dump that in. And that will hit the spectator netting. We'll have a face-off in the neutral zone. 14:50 left in the third period. And the Storm have come and scored back-to-back goals to take a one-goal lead starting the third period. Oh, the face-off is going to go on to this side of the ice. Storm won the draw. Sent to the far side. Picked up by Scott. Lead pass for Boyd coming up the right side. Boyd fires that across to the far boards. Comes up high on the boards. Pike in front. Low shot. That goes up high. Comes over the near side. Chipped into the high shot. Boyd fires that wide. Lidovchenko chips that down low. Comes in front. Thiel swipes that back down. Lidovchenko over to Cox. Kicked up to Boyd. Boyd with it. Low shot. Thiel with the save. Lidovchenko throws that to the outside. Cox with it. Sends that to the right side. Tureen is off to the races. Here comes Tureen in. Low shot. Friesen with the save. Comes over to the near side. Tureen's going to keep that in again. Scott over to Carruthers. Back to Scott. Fed out in front. Kicked away by Thiel. Puck still in the Crusher zone. Utley with it. Scott with it for the Storm. Throws that in front. That's cleared away by Jean-Luc Gagnon. He's battling against Taylor. Comes loose to the near side. Jean-Luc Gagnon's going to pick that up. It's got to be bad ice there as both players are down. And tripping here. Called against the Storms. Number 10, Dillaba. will be in the box 2 minutes for tripping. And the penalty to the Storm comes with 13:27 left in the third period. Crushers needing a power play goal here. Taylor over to Wilton. Wilton, their shot is blocked. Puck's going to bounce out to the neutral zone. Taylor sends that up the boards. Wilton comes in. He's put against the boards on the far side. Gets that up with the puck. Wilton shoveling it down low. Sends it back to the far side. Looking for blocker. Keeps past it, but Taylor keeps that into traffic. Going to come high for Peterson Shaw. Left side for James. James hanging on to it. Puts that up high to Taylor. There's the shot. Knocked down in front. James fires that. Steered aside by Friesen. James with it. Moves that back to the point to Taylor. Taylor over to James. James up high for Peterson Shaw. Peterson Shaw fired through traffic. That comes off the end boards. Black knocks that down. Wilton on the far side. He's hauled down. Puck put around the boards. Taylor can't get there in time. It's going to come out. Over to Peterson Shaw. Peterson Shaw up the ice for Black. Black gets that in the zone, then loses control of it. And the Storm move it down the ice. Thiel setting that up for Gray. 40 seconds left in the power play as Gray moves from behind his own net. He's going to wheel it up the near side. Drops that back for Reinhardt. Reinhardt taking the wide side now. Coming into the zone. Hangs on. Goes to the far boards. Back up high for Utley. Over to Morrell on the far side. Reinhardt with it. Reinhardt hangs on. Uses the boards. Gets up to Utley. Utley with it. Hard shot in front for Friesen. Friesen makes the save. Cleared away by Stoika. 10 seconds left in the power play. Stoika moves it to the near side. Gray comes in. There's a shot. That is tipped wide. Reinhardt with it. Back to the point to Utley. Utley over to Stoika. Stoika. Right side for Reinhardt. Reinhardt comes in. Friesen with the save. Morrell knocks that down with a high stick. And the Storm moved around the far side. Dillabez back on the ice. Storm at full strength. Comes over to the near side. Morrell knocked down. Storm move that up. And it's going to roll all the way down. Where Thiel touches it. And since it was contacted by a high stick, we'll have the whistle with 11:07 left in the third period. Face-off will be on the near side in the Crusher zone. Storm went Pike. Puts that on the boards to the near side. Thrown back to Pike at the point. Pike walking it over. There's a shot. Thiel with the save. Hangs on. Covers it up with 10:53 left in the third period. Face-off will be on the near side in the Crusher zone. Storm scored twice early in the third period, and they are up 5-4 on the Crushers. Crushers win the draw. Lidovchenko moves that to the near side. Centering pass by Reimat, picked off by Mounsey, and Mounsey will flip that into the spectator netting. Face-off will be once again in the Crushers zone on the near side of the ice. Face-off won by the Crushers, sent to the far side. It's going to come out to the neutral zone where Campbell picks it up for the Storm. Flipped up the boards on the near side. Taylor centers that, looking for Harris. That bounces off his stick. Cox comes up the ice with it. Cox coming to the near side. There's a high shot. Comes off the end boards. Picked up on the far side by Pike. He's caught in the zone. Crushers with it. Utley in front. Peterson Shaw couldn't get the stick on it. On the near side, Storms. Taylor moves that out to the neutral zone. Picked up by Jolicoeur Gagnon. Utley for the Crushers in his own zone. Up the ice to Lehman. Lehman, left side, centering pass by Cox. Lehman coming in with it, and he's tracked down. Pike picks up the loose puck for the Storm. Turns into the corner, caught by Cox. The other side to Peterson-Shaw. Peterson-Shaw, upended, had it lifted by number 21, Harris, and Storm bring that into the Crusher zone. Jolicoeur Gagnon for the Crushers, trying to move it around the outside. He's caught in the corner. Over to Tureen, who gets that out to the neutral ice. Zavish with it. Tureen puts the bump on the Storm, but the Storm coming in with it. Carruthers on the far side. Low shot. Thiel make the save. Put up the boards. Held in the far side by the Storm's Mounsey. Crushers get it back. Here's Black coming up the near side. Centering past Tureen, that's blocked. Followed up by Reinhardt. Reinhardt comes to the right side. Low shot. Reinhardt scores! And we're tied up once again. Alex Reinhardt finds the loose puck just outside the Storm blue line. He'll come to the right side and will rifle it past the Storm goaltender. And we're tied up with 8:56 left in the third period. Storm scored twice early in the third to gain the lead. Crushers just past halfway mark. Answer with their own. We're tied up at 5 in the semifinal game. Gray with it. Over to the near side to Taylor. Taylor dumps that into the Storm zone. Storm moving it on the far side. Gray steps in. Up to Tureen. Tureen up the far side. Braun picks it up for the Storm. That comes back to the point. Mounsey. Mounsey moves that up. Coming in. Backhand shot. Tried to go short side. Thrown out in front. And it is back to the line. Braun keeps that in for the Storm. Campbell finds it on the far side. In front for Hellgren. That shot floats wide. Comes back to the point. Braun with it. Black steps up. Comes to Taylor. Taylor gets it out to the neutral zone. Hellgren has that for the Storm going around the wide side. There's a shot. That's blocked by Gray. Another one comes off the backside of the net. Braun with it again. Throws that. Far side Pike. That shot off of Thiel. Taylor picks that up on the near side. He wheels it up. Oh, it's just out of reach of Black. And we'll have an icing call here. And both teams will get a change in. 7:54 left in the third period. We're tied at 5. After the icing call, the face-off will be on the far side in the Crusher zone. Storm win it. Taylor takes that in the corner, tries to center that to Hare, and that's blocked by the Crushers. James goes in to battle for it. Wilton couldn't move it. Lidovchenko moves it to the outside. No. Stoico with it. Morale crosses over to the right side. Morale trying to battle it, and he takes it into the corner. Goes loose in his feet. Bounces off the board. Storm find it first. They're going to flip that over. Taylor couldn't receive it. And Lidovchenko back to play it. Over to Wilton. Wilton up to James. Skips past him. Campbell gets that. He's going to dump that into the Crusher zone. Thiel with it. Lidovchenko picks it up behind the net. Goes to the outside looking for Morale. Pike bumps him, but it's loose for James. James coming up the left side. James with it. Looking for Stoica. Can't get it there. Stopped in front. Oh, and it bounces off Stoica and into the glove of Friesen, who hangs on. Stopping play and calming things down with 7:05 to go in the third period. Face-off will be on the far side in the Storm zone. Crusher bench getting loud. Kept in by Utley. Goes into the corner. Storm's done again. Tries to move to the near side. That's cut off by Lehman. Lehman over for Peterson-Shaw. Down low for Seaman. Peterson-Shaw gets it back. Seaman pinches that against the corner. Comes loose on the near side. And Zavish wheels that around the boards. Utley tries to pitch it in. Turns into 2-1 back the other way. Done again. McDonald on the right. Done again. Low shot. Thiel with the save. Pops out in front. Still loose. Picked up behind the net by Jolicoeur Gagnon. Lehman trying to wheel it out. He's pushed off the puck by McDonald. McDonald turns, Steele with the stick save, sent to the far side. Harris back to the point. There's a shot, knocked down by Jolicoeur. Comes out the right side, holding it in with Zavish. Now it gets past him. Seaman backhands that into the Storm zone, where it's picked up by Condi. Condi moves it up to Heron. Heron's shot is blocked. It's going to go to the far corner. Picked up by Taylor. Taylor moves that up to the point now, walks it back down. Now leaves it at the point for number 4, Condi. Condi down low for Taylor. Watched by Taylor of the Crushers. Now comes over to the near side. Cox bumps Scott into the board. Scott keeps walking away with it. Goes to the far side. Scott against Reimer. Reimer gets the best of him. And we'll put it off the boards and out to the neutral zone. Reinhardt comes over. Right side. Can't get it in. Left side looking for Cox, just out of his reach. Cox picks that in the corner, throws that in front. Taylor comes in, fired, that's off a leg, put over the near side. Cox picks it up again for the Crushers. Down low for Reinhardt. Reinhardt pushed off the puck. Scott comes back to help out. Scott puts it down the edge for board. That's cut off by Taylor. Battle for it on the near side. Taylor puts that back into the Storm zone. Heron back to play. Puts it up the near side for Condi. Taylor of the Crushers keeps that in the zone, sends it down low. Reinhardt with it behind the net, in front for Cox, that hops off his stick. Cox tried to move that back to the point, that's caught by the Storm. Taylor of the Crushers is going to dump that back in to the Storm side. Condi moves that up, that's chipped down the ice by number 6, Helgson, pardon me. And it's going to end up being an icing call here, and play stops with 4:32 left in the third period. Moving to the later stages of the third, we're tied at 5 in this semifinal game of the 2026 Crusher Cup. Storm trying to move out of the zone with it. Comes out to center. Pass up to Helgson. Wilton puts that back up the ice. Storm coming up the far side. Moved down low, thrown out in front. Mounsey puts that off the shoulder of Thiel. Comes back to the line. Braun keeps that in. Storm on the far side. Campbell with it. Back to the point. Pressured by Tureen. Fires that down low. Helgson takes that. Moves that into the corner for Mounsey. Comes loose. Comes back to the point for Braun. Tureen knocks that loose. Tureen with it. Goes in. Black follows that up the near side. Couldn't get it back. Mounsey with it. Sends that to the far side. That's broken up by Wilton. Black chips that up to Tureen. Tureen with it. Puts that into the Storm zone. Storm. Helgson moves that far side to Braun. Braun with it, coming up the ice into the Crusher zone. Hangs on, wheels to the near side. Throws that through the slot to the far side. Utley's going to pick that up. Utley looking for Lehman. Lehman comes in for the Crushers. Feeds that in front, it bounces back. Peterson Shaw couldn't quite get it. Dumped into the Crusher zone for Morale. Morale gets it back for the Crushers, taking it to the far side. Gets into the Storm zone now, taken into the corner. Thrown up the boards, held in by Utley. Utley throws that back down to Morale. Morale over to Lehman. Lehman turns, fired. Friesen with the save. Rebound goes behind the net to the far side. Peterson Shaw knocks it down, takes it, throws it in front. It's going to come back to Utley. Utley takes it. There's a hard shot. And the Crushers have scored and taken the lead from the point. Utley rips it down low, and it's just past the Grand Prairie Storm goaltender. And the Crushers have battled back to take the lead in the third period. 2:28 left in this semifinal matchup. Centering pass, missed through the slot. It comes back to the point. And ready to rifle it home was Owen Utley. Gray gets across center, dumps that into the Storm zone. Storm's number 12, Pike, goes to the far side. Trying to wheel it around Reinhardt. Reinhardt chops it off his stick. Pike gets it back. Dumps it into the Crusher's zone. He's going to go below the goal line. Pike battling for it on the low boards. Dunnigan trying to take over. He spins to the far side. Comes over the near side of Thiel. Thiel can't cover it up. Comes over the near side. Fed out in front. Cleared away by the Crusher's far side. Reinhardt with it. Puts that off. Comes out for Stoika. Stoika with space. Coming in. Stoika and Friesen with the save. Puck goes just over the net. Helgeson picks that up. Stretches that out the ice to Mounsey. And the whistle is going to go behind the play. Roughing is going to go to Tureen. Whoa. And the Crushers, the only one to draw a penalty here. 2 minutes roughing to Tureen called with 11:41 left in the third period. Gives the Storm a man advantage late in the third period. Crushers up 6-5, but it's the Storm that are going to come out of this timeout with the power play. Here we go, folks. Penalty killers for the Crushers are on the ice. And the Storm have elected to remove their goaltender. Friesen is on the bench. Extra attacker on for the Storm. Crushers will have free rein to ice the puck. Dunnigan to take it for the Storm. Storm win it, put it back to the point. Braun with it. Over the near side. James will slide that down the ice. 1:30 to go in the third period. Braun for the Storm. Starts behind his own net. He's waiting for the breakout play. Hanging on to it. Braun up to Scott. Scott taking the far side. Scott keeps hanging on. Rolls behind the net. Coming over the near side. Thrown out in front. Thiesen with the save. Goes to the far side. Mounsey with it for the Storm. Feeds that back into the corner. Storm pick it up behind the net. Scott with it on the near side. Reinhardt trying to chase it. Now goes to Braun. Braun, there's a shot. That makes it through traffic. Thiel able to see it, and he'll hang on with 52 seconds to go in the third period. Drin cheering his team on from the penalty box. Face off on the near side in the Crushers zone. Crushers win the draw. Storm get it back though. Take it behind the Crusher net. Put back to Scott. Scott walking in the low shot. That's blocked in front. Comes over the near side. Run with it. Right side. Helgren pushed it against the boards. Now put loose. Tipped out in front by Gray. Goes to Scott. Scott on the far side. Thrown out in front. And on the power play, the Storm have scored with 29 seconds left in the third period. And we're tied back up at 6. So with 29 seconds left and on the power play, the Storm able to put one in, tie the game back up at 6, and we are headed to an interesting finish here. Storm with it on the far side. Dump that into the Crusher zone. Taylor with it, moves out the far side, takes a hit. Thrown in the slot, low shot, Thiel with the save. That's going to be kicked off the glass and come out to center. Back with it, Braun. Stretched down. That's tipped in. 5 seconds to go. Centering pass, poked away by Thiel. James will take that. get that out to center, and the buzzer's going to go. And we will play 3-on-3 overtime for the next 5 minutes. Short break here, folks, but we're going to jump into the overtime shortly. Everybody getting their breath? We're ready here for an exciting overtime. Crushers are going to put out Stoika, Reinhardt, and Wilton. Storm are going to put out Helgson, Braun, and Campbell. They're going to swap ends. Going to make it the long change. Nervous murmur through the crowd. Teams getting loud on the bench. And here we go in overtime. Stoika tied up. Comes look for Reinhardt. Reinhardt on the far side. Hangs on to the puck. Resets in the neutral zone. Reinhardt with it. Over to Wilton. Wilton takes a look. Has space. Comes over to the near side. Wilton enters the zone. In front for Stoika. Stoika couldn't get the shot. Storm pick it up. Behind their own net. Braun with it. Braun pressured by Wilton. Escapes past it. Braun coming over the near side. Wilton keeps following him. Now Braun's going to head down the ice with it. Coming to the left side. Braun carries it behind the net. Wheels to the far side. Won't let go of it. Stoika is going to take that away as Reinhardt to loosen up for it. Wilton comes up the right side. Wilton hangs on. Low shot just past Friesen on the far side. Stoika can't keep that in the zone. Hilgeson trying to get inside Stoika. Stoika there first. Stoika coming up the near side. Up to Reinhardt. Scott chips that away from Reinhardt. Over to the near side. Dunnigan coming into the zone. Scott trying to get out in front. Wilton keeps shadowing. Dunnigan. Far side for Scott. Scott coming in. Low shot. Thiel with the save. And play will stop with 1:30 to go in the overtime. Seaman, Utley, and Peterson Shaw are out. Dunnigan, Mounsey, and Scott for Grande Prairie. Comes to the far side. Kicked up by Peterson Shaw. Near side for Seaman. Seaman coming up the right side, a little bit of space. His shot blocked, thrown out, comes into the corner. Centering pass. Poked away by Scott. Scott coming in by himself up the left side. Fakes the shot, comes over to the right side, low shot, blocked. Goes to the far side. Seaman with it. Moves that up slightly. Far side looking for Peterson Shaw. In front of him. Campbell's going to pick that up for Storm. Chopped up the ice. Here comes Helgren. Campbell follows it up. Low shot. Blocked in front by Seaman. Followed up by Scott. There's a shot. That comes off the glove of Thiel and behind the net. Storm pick it up. Now comes over the near side. Seaman with it. He's going to rush it up. Far side for Peterson Shaw. In front for Seaman. Seaman tried to go 5-hole. He's hit into the net. The net's come off. And Gray moves it up. looking for Reinhardt. Reinhardt back on the ice. Comes over outside, inside, outside. High shot and Friesen with the save. Hang it on with that quick glove. 12.7 seconds left in overtime. And if we don't decide that, we will head to a shootout. Reinhardt to take the draw for the Crushers on the near side against Dunnigan. Chip down, Storm have it. Braun pushed off the puck by Seaman. Seaman trying to dig it out. And we're going to head to a shootout here, folks. Buzzer goes. Nerves ramp up a little higher. Parents in the crowd get quieter. And we'll just take a brief pause here again while we line up for the shootout. Oh, what an exciting time here, folks, in this semifinal match of the 2026 Crusher Cup. Crushers opened up the scoring, but it's the third period that's been the answer, where the Storm, down one, able to battle back. Crushers eventually took the lead again, and with 30 seconds left in the third period, the Storm score on the power play to send us into overtime. Teams could not decide the game in 3-on-3 overtime, so now we move to a shootout. Refs deciding on the lineup on the far side, or getting the lineups. Reinhardt's going to come out and start it off for the Crushers as the visiting team. Check that. Home is going to be shooting first. Coming out to shoot first, Alex Helgson. Helgson coming across, taking the left side now. Walking it in. Tried to go backhand. Oh, and it's in on the backhand. Grande Prairie opens it up in the shootout. Crushers, Reinhardt out. Seeing if he can answer. Alex Reinhardt picks up the puck. Comes into the zone. There he is. Reinhardt goes off the crossbar and it stays out. Couldn't get any closer for the Crushers. Two more shooters for each team. Here's the Storm. Storm's Harris. Takes a look, lines it up. Here he comes. Walking it in. Harris goes, backhand. Oh, and it's off the crossbar and stays out. 1 goal, 2 crossbars in this shootout. Landon James out for the Crushers. Here he comes with his chance. James picks it up. Comes over. There's a shot wide. And if the Storm can score here, they will end it. Scott coming out. Quinn Scott lining it up for Grande Prairie. Scott picks it up. Comes over the near side. Pulls it. And the save by Thiel. And now it's do or die for the Crushers. Crushers are sending out number 14, Owen Utley. Here comes Utley. Walking in the zone. There's a shot, it's a goal! We're gonna continue the shootout here. Teams will go 1 for 1 now. Utley with the goal to keep the Crushers alive in the shootout. Next up for Grande Prairie. Number 14, Dunnigan, picks up the puck. Gonna go to the right side. Left side, low, and Thiel able to hold that off just off the line and gets the stop. Here's a chance for the Crushers. Onto the ice, number 12, Xavier Turine. Turine with it. Walking it in. Off the iron. Oh, and it stays out. Really doesn't get any closer than that, folks. Here we go back to center. It'll be the Storm's turn now. Mounsey elected to take the shot. Cruz Mounsey picks up the puck. Comes over to the left side. Low on Thiel, and Thiel makes the save. Next up for the Crushers, it will be Morale. Number 77, Wrecker Morale picks up the puck at center. Comes over to the near side. Morale walking it in. For sure. Hats off to the Storm. They played a great game today. We will wish them luck tomorrow in the bronze game. Crushers, your shootout winner by Xavier Turine. What a standing in net by Brian Thiel. Able to contest with the nerves in overtime, and the Crushers come away with the win. Don't go far, folks. We're going to have player of the game, I think. And then the Crushers will be playing tomorrow. I believe it's at 11:45. Stay tuned to Team Snap to be sure, but I believe it's 11:45. Stand by, folks. We're not quite done yet. So the gold medal game will be tomorrow, 11:45, here from Kinsmen. Crushers will be in that. I'm not too sure who won the other game, and it looks like a Knights. Oh, it will be a battle, a repeat from this morning, where the Crushers will take on the Knights. The Storm's player of the game, number 3, McDonald. And for the Crushers, number 77, Rink, your overtime shootout winner. Great job, both teams. And we will see you back on the air 11:45 from Kinsmen tomorrow. My name's Curtis Bykowski. It's been a real pleasure, folks. Have a good night.